I want a sandwich. Now. Oh, sandwich wench. Yo, wench. Sandwich. Now. I'm going to need a sandwich. A sandwich. I'm going to need a sandwich. A sandwich. I'm going to need a sandwich. A sandwich. A sandwich. A sandwich. I'm going to need a sandwich. A sandwich. I'm going to need a sandwich. A sandwich. A sandwich. Oh, sandwich wench. I want a sandwich. Sandwich.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another political recap stream here on the Moisky Live channel. Where are we? There we are. Hi. Joining me to discuss one topic, because there's no bloody point talking about literally anything else at all, smash the like, is Trups. Say hi, Trups.
Hello, Trups.
That was quite nice. Very satisfying. It's like, hit the high note on that quite well.
Yeah, it had that nice that build-up that's ka.
Yeah, it really works. It sells. And quickly to address the chat, Samage, yes, of course. Hi, Jake. Hi, Bry. What kind of music is that? Custom-made gift for me years ago by a lovely, lovely individual. How is Trups today?
Okay. It's been raining on and off, so...
Same here.
Like, I've been all over the place. You know, that kind of thing. It's raining, so now I gotta, like, make sure that I'm doing things a little bit differently,
Right.
a whole bunch of crap like that. Yeah. Fun.
Work okay?
Exciting. Yeah, nothing's really changed all that much at work. We're in the middle of different stuff. Nothing
Right.
nothing yet has shown itself to be actionable yet at work. So a lot of
you're
us
a
are
bit
just kind
limbo,
of
are
sitting
you?
there. What?
Limbo.
Yes, quite.
I'm very sorry you're stuck in limbo.
It's okay. I have things to do. I'm just waiting for it to arrive.
Ah, fair enough. Fingers crossed things improve then. You got any LARP coming up or anything?
I have LARP coming up in 3 weeks.
We just
But
look
in
at this.
2 weeks, I have a vacation.
Oh, that's okay, because in 2 weeks I'm going to Norwich again.
I'm going to Orlando.
I'm going to a whiskey distillery.
My family does a vacation once a year.
Can you, if you're going to Orlando after this stream, can I ask you to look for something for me?
Sure.
Sweet. Okay. I'll remember to look that up afterwards.
Cool. Is it the whiskey you were trying to get me to find last year?
Yeah, fun little story. So obviously David failed. My dad and I spoke when he went to go and take all my sisters and nieces and nephews on holiday. His sister had gone to see her daughter, who lives in Michigan, my cousin, and her husband, and they tried to find it there as well.
Is it the Romulan ale? Is that what it was?
Put in the chat, yeah. Romulan
I remember
ale.
you mentioning it last year.
I will settle for the vodka, but I know ABC Wines have a load of Florida shops, and they on Instagram told me if any of the shops had it, it would be very low stock. And I'm like, well, if there's a chance someone could go to an ABC Wines and just inquire.
I see.
There we go. Thank you.
Yeah, I looked it up. Yeah, I will. I will make sure that I hunt it down.
Honestly,
either on my way in or on my way out.
I'll settle for an empty bottle and fill it with blue Karaku. I don't care.
Curacao?
We call it Karaku over here.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah. It might be the pronunciation just because we're English and we say things a bit too literally. But it might be Curacao.
He wants a Mickey Mouse stuffy. Hey, I'll get him some fucking $30 fucking ears from Disney World.
That's not a
Those are
rip-off.
expensive. You know how expensive that shit is?
That's
They
not
have like.
It's not a rip-off at all.
I don't often go to like Disney because they don't deserve my money right now.
They don't deserve your money. And just to address Yemps in the chat there about his Mickey Mouse impression. This is my Mickey Mouse impression.
Ah, I like to steal money of children.
How's that?
I was gonna do mine, but now I don't know if I want to.
Fair enough. Anyway, I'm well. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, of
it's
course.
been a busy week of mostly YouTube drama and content.
Yes, I have seen. There's so much. You'd think that these people had actual day jobs, but then I remember they're YouTubers.
I'll be honest. Because of the views they generate, they really don't need a job.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I got
I believe that.
If I was getting the views from Lolcow Live just from those streams alone, I'd be set for a month or two. And we know that if they're dividing it into fives, in fifths, and they're getting $2,000, some of them getting over $2,000 a month each. That's a decent. I mean, it's maybe not enough to get by on for your cost of living, depending where you are. But over here, if I had $2,000 a month, oh no, I'm fine, honestly. But if I get all 5 bits, I'm getting $10,000. Yeah, no, you're not seeing me for another month. I'm gone.
Goodbye.
Yeah. Anyway, so I could quickly, before we actually dive into the only subject we're talking about, mention Labour are starting to enact some policies of interest concerning a 2-child tax, and they end up suspending the whip from 7 of their party members who are all communist, who were in the shadow cabinet of Jeremy Corbyn when he was shadow opposition leader person doodah, yeah. So of his allies, 7 of them got suspended for 6 months from the party. Essentially, they can't vote with the party because they voted against the party. And I'm just going to say now, look, if your way of handling the fact that your party members aren't always going to be in alignment with you is to immediately take away their ability to vote with the party, right? You are showing yourself as remarkably fickle and a bit totalitarian already. All right, you got 5 years to get some unity, and you've just gone for the extreme leftists because they disagree with your policy. That's all. Oh, and thank you, MJ or Penguin, for the gifted memberships. Also, I received a parcel today, I believe, with the note inside earmarked for Mr. David for his birthday. I put it to one side, but I'm keeping the socks. She sent a box of odd fish socks called Load of Pollocks. And dog treats. I don't think the dog treats are for David, but I can give him those if she wants me to. But they'll have to come out of the dogs because I've already given them away. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So Labour are enacting some policy. There's also a few changes to their more renewable green policy. They're going to go against the Conservatives. The Conservatives are going to they were doing the new licenses in the North Sea. Labour want to not do that. Problem with that is we need it because we haven't got the access to Russia. So unless you intend to broker a deal with Russia, we actually need the North Sea oil and gas. Also, it's within our territory. We should use it. While we seek to be a bit more... we're not using it to sell it. You need it for our country. So do it.
I mean, same thing, really.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. And also it means we have a resource that's of value. Rather than our finance sector that is in flux right now because no one knows what the Labour government's going to do.
How's your fish population doing?
I haven't got a bloody clue.
Okay.
So
I know that is the resource that you guys tend to hang on to.
It will be a resource worth keeping hold of if we don't allow the ecology to grow again. That was another issue with the EU. No offence to anyone who's a EU lover of the EU. But if you don't allow your fishery stocks to properly replenish and live in a rejuvenated ocean, you run the risk of permanently, irreparably harming your fish stocks. We had a different system. The EU system meant, no, it's a battle royale within the amount you're allowed to take from it. But then people would take that and then dump all the extra in the ocean dead. We don't do that. We take what we need, base it on what we know is reasonable. If we go slightly over, we're not throwing it back. No, you're getting a fine. You can sell it, but we get it. Simple as that.
True.
Right?
Yeah, I agree.
Hello, everyone that's joined us, by the way. We do appreciate you all being here.
Thank you, MJ, for the 5 memberships.
Yes, and do smash the like, please. We'd appreciate it. Or dislike if you want to be a contrarian. Yes, you Penguin.
Just did it.
I know you're going to do that. Penguin likes to be a contrarian. We don't know anyone like that, do we? No. No, it's not. We haven't had one of those before. Anyway, so last week we had a lot to go through. We had far too much to go through, and after an hour and a half, we went through and caught up with what we needed to, the bigger topics: UK government change, France, and of course the attempted assassination of President Donald J. Trump. And we 4 years ago did say, not even that there was no chance that Biden was going to see out his term. We didn't believe he'd survive it. I didn't think he'd make the midterms. I don't think you believed he'd make it past it, to be honest. Because he was a geriatric then and he is now.
True.
And any attack on him it legitimately feels like punching down. It just straight up feels like that. So after that stream last week, we said it wouldn't be long now because we'd seen a few people say we thought he was going to announce it. We weren't sure what was happening, but we knew something was going to happen soon. We just didn't know when. And then 1 or 2 days later, it happened. Go.
Yes, Biden announced on Sunday, 2 days after we got done with the stream, announced that he would be no longer running. He would be dropping out, passing the torch. Now, he, of course, did this over Twitter, the most formal of all methods of alerting individuals of what's going on.
Yeah.
And that was what we got to experience. That was our president, everybody. Just didn't just fucking told us that it was gonna be Kamala, endorsing Kamala, and that he would step down and that he would address us later. But tell Kamala. Now, of course, the I don't want to say backlash, but the consequences of such a I think drummed up I would say an actual unusual set of responses. And the only reason I say unusual is because you'd think that the party who has been so adamant on protecting democracy would be a little bit more concerned that the nominee that they voted for in the primaries decided to appoint their VP as the nominee, and the entire party got behind them. They could have appointed anybody, and the Democrats all seemed totally okay with that. So much so, I believe it was Chuck Schumer who came out and he had said, yes, we've gone through the process and it looks like Kamala Harris is going to be the nominee. And he started clapping. Nobody else started clapping. He started clapping. And he goes,
I remember seeing
you don't have to clap. I'll do it for me. This is for me.
That reminded me of Bush. Jeb, whatever his bloody name is, Bush. Where he said, can you clap, please? Can you please clap? I got the name wrong on Twitter. Somebody had to tell me his name was Jeb? I went with Jeb. Yeah, I went with Jed. So I got the B the wrong way around. Mirror, just that. I'm sorry. Thank you, somebody, for the $2 donation. Thank you, Mysterious Streamer, for the gifted sub. Yes,
thank you, somebody.
Thank you very much for that. The Kamala Harris being instantly installed, to me, reeks of wrong. Now, there was a belief I saw that this was the entire plan anyway, to get her into high office. Then you have your first female president. So why hasn't the 25th been enacted then?
Because Biden is still alive, and I think that they don't want Kamala to be installed as a president.
But if she beats Trump, then she gets 2 full terms, and this little bit of time she'll be a very long-serving president because she'll be so successful because she's got the gifts, yo.
Yeah, something like that.
She says one catchphrase, and I saw it meme to high hell in 5-6 minute clips of her saying it over and over again.
Which one?
Once was unburdened blah 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 thing.
Oh yeah, the actual word salad that she said that one time.
Yeah.
Are we sure Biden is alive? No, we are not.
She says that same phrase so many times in different situations every time. I can't wait till early September. I think it's the 10th or 19th when they're debating. Because she's going to need that prep time.
December 10th, yeah.
She's going to need the prep time. She's going to need it. If Tulsi Gabbard destroyed her, what's he going to do?
Funny enough, that that whole question of whether or not they're going to debate on the 10th is a currently hotly contested topic in the media. They are loving talking about it, honestly.
Do you really think she stands a chance?
No, it's not that. It's that Kamala said, I'm totally down for that September 10th thing.
Right.
Trump has come out and said, I agreed to that with your predecessor, not you.
It would be punching down again. She needs to be she needs to be nominated, not just chosen.
Right. Like, somebody had said, like, oh, well, you know, it's the same ticket. No, it's not.
No.
It's not the same ticket.
No, because
it is an entirely different ticket.
The only way it's the same, even if Biden became VP in this, which he can't be, it would be not the same. It wouldn't be the same at all. Although right. I can believe she's the one running the country in the first place.
Yeah, I would not necessarily disagree. So much has happened that I have not been hearing all that much about, and it's actually what the Republicans are doing. So the Republicans have filed I believe, articles of impeachment against Kamala for basically being part of this whole cover-up that he's not been well.
There's a point there.
Yeah, true. That they are also, personally responsible for this kind of behavior.
Right.
And the fact, and in addition, this whole money thing. I don't know how much you've heard about how much money she's raised in like the week that she's had this.
I've not heard anything about this because I've been paying attention to people memeing the high hell out of her by pointing how incompetent she is. So
the people had basically said that, oh, hey, look at this. On Monday, she raised $81 million.
Right.
Fuck, that's a lot of money. That's crazy.
That is.
Yeah. 81 million, cool, awesome. Then the next day, it was 100 million. And at the end of that day, it was 126 million.
Okay.
And a whole bunch of people are going, well, that's kind of weird. How the fuck did you do that? Some of that money has been basically co-opted from Joe Biden and Joe Biden's campaign. So part of the articles of impeachment is also an FEC violation in which that's not allowed. That is two separate campaigns.
Right, so it's not allowed, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know this, so I'm learning, because obviously you do different funding systems for your politics.
Yeah, so it's a campaign finance violation because the money was originally donated to Biden-Harris.
Yeah.
Since Biden dropped out, the proper method of doing this is you would return all of the funds, and then those people would be allowed to then give again to the campaign now in its new form. In what they did now is they basically co-opted the funds as if it is transient. It's allowed for basically anybody. It would be as if when Nikki Haley and DeSantis dropped out, Trump just absorbed their campaign's money.
Yeah.
That's not allowed. That is highly, highly illegal. Yeah. That's highly, highly illegal. So yeah. That's another piece of this you may not do this kind of attitude.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we'll have to see a little bit further on to see how much of this is actually going to go somewhere, because we know, at least I do, in my country, we are very, very keen on making theatrics out of our motions and our bills and whatnot.
Yeah.
And it is frustrating to say the least.
I feel like it's going to be a fantastic, as it unfolds, series of arguments, because that will deplete her resources for the campaign if they really are running with her as the nominee, because they shouldn't unless she is selected by the party. If you just choose, then you're not following a democratic process, you're installing. I know you don't have much time. I fully get that, but you can, within the space of a month, have a legitimate candidate to go against him.
Mm-hmm.
Cheating like this is embarrassing.
Yeah, well, a lot of people are saying that it is cheating because we're 102 days from the election. And they just radically changed the ticket, which I think is also kind of fucky because technically the DNC, so like the committee to nominate formally, is in like the middle to late August.
Yeah.
Which is like another 30 days. So you basically have 70 days to really understand the nominee that you're going through. And of course, we're still going to be upset at the fact that they use superdelegates because that's still a thing that they decided that is legal and allowed and democratic. Superdelegates meaning the one person holds the weight of 50 in the Democratic Convention. That's a thing that they do. It's lovely, isn't it? My country has so much wrong with it.
I mean, there's something very much wrong with it if you are selected, not elected, and you've never won so much as one primary.
Well, that's quite true, and a lot of people would agree. Yeah,
I know.
And a lot of people would agree with that.
I've been criticizing some people. I've been a bit of a dickhead on Twitter this week, actually.
Oh, good.
I've had to go at a few people I've followed because they blindly said they'll just vote blue anyway, and I'm like, that's not the mentality you should be having right now.
Correct.
First of all, it tells me you've immediately shut off any differing opinions. You're just allowing the unaccountable party to do more unaccountable things, and this justification, because Trump man bad still, is just further proof of how stupid you casual voters are. Especially if you're not paying attention to the system.
I had such an attitude about that this morning. Like, I had the opinion at one point that you had to like pass the citizenship test before you were allowed to fucking vote. Like, I genuinely almost think that you need to be able to pass some sort of media literacy or political literacy test before you are allowed to infect our political system with uneducated fucking opinions.
So there's the problem with that, because it creates a... this is where it becomes... Is the ability to vote a birthright, or do you have to earn the right to vote? And I firmly believe in it being a birthright, because the annoying thing really is no matter what education system you... Like, my country's a lot smaller, but we still have very differing castes almost in class, where the working class working class don't really make it a point to vote because they don't believe their votes matter. Or if they do vote, they'll vote Labour because workers. In your country, it's so much bigger, and all the states are so culturally different. It's almost impossible. By the way, I remember I found the cringy quote Kamala Harris has been using so fucking much. What can be unburdened by what has been? This is some bullshit non-quote corporate America slogan for suck it. What can be unburdened by what has been? She has said this so many times and done the exact same hand to the signed hand gesture to mean the past. Like, fuck off. You're not a priest. You're not hearing confession. You can stop that shit. It's not even a good quote. It's absolute dog plop, alright? It means literally nothing.
It does not mean anything.
I can't be arsed. What can be unburdened by what has been? Unburdened by... What are you talking about, bitch?
What the fuck are you on about?
No, I know what it is.
No one knows.
It's her
No one
way,
knows.
It's her way of unburdening herself of the dog shit she's done in her career. Where,
Somebody has actually come out and tried to figure out what the fuck they were talking about, and quite literally what somebody tried to argue and say was that essentially what this could mean is that because this person is not the candidate Joe Biden, that technically they are unburdened by the faults and the issues of the previous campaign.
Right.
And now it can be all about her and her future because she was only the VP, not the president. It wasn't her decision, really.
She's been memed to high hell for, well, many accusations of sleeping her way to the top.
Well, yeah, that's still a thing that they're contending with.
Well, they can contend with it all they like, but she was a side piece for a while with, was it Diddy?
It was somebody. I remember seeing that red carpet. That shows up.
I can't remember who it was. I remember someone mentioning Diddy, and I just thought, if you're part of that crew, you're already on. You might want to consider optics here.
Mm-hmm.
I think I saw Diddy's name too often. It wasn't him, though, was it? It was somebody else. Doesn't matter. Optics are not on your side. You can try and downplay that as much as you like. But then you also try to downplay your involvement as Attorney General in California when it came to death row and slavery, which is somewhat ironic.
Well, you see, it's all about, that what's it called? The hustle, if you will.
No, it's what can be unburdened by what has been.
I think I'm having a stroke, which is also what people thought Joe Biden was going through when that COVID diagnosis had come down.
Oh, and not when his party stabbed him in the back, huh?
Well, that too.
They should stick to their convictions. The guy's never been defeated. They should genuinely run with him and see what happens.
Yes, I think so.
I think it'd be hilarious.
What do you think that they would do?
I think they would have a totally legitimate and not remotely corrupted electoral system, and the better man will win with a voter turnout that will be even higher than last time. And then we'll get 4 more years of Sleepy Joe, of course, the greatest of greatest champions this country's ever known, with the sharpest of minds. That was 2 weeks ago, I believe, 3 weeks ago. Told it was one of the sharpest minds in those debates, the sharpest version of Biden that ever existed. And I watched older videos of him, by the way. If the current version of him is the sharpest, holy crap, what was the guy like 30 years ago? Because that guy, it turns out, I could have a conversation with. But this guy, he literally looks like his skin's stretched over his face. His jaw's been sewn on.
He definitely does not look good.
No,
Did you see the address that he had done later on?
Was that the one that was edited?
Yes.
Yes, I did see parts of it.
Yes. He doesn't look good.
No, he doesn't. And I'm just going to say now, I'm not going to punch down, because that's what it will be. We both agreed this counts as elder abuse. We said it years ago when he was first elected, because we didn't understand how he got there. I remember that first stream when we sat here after he won, and it was when the votes were still being counted. We were like, "What the hell's just happened?" Like, we didn't get it because we didn't understand how Biden managed to win it when he got annihilated. But he's been president for 3 years, and he can somewhat proudly, if he ever remembers, say that he was president for 1 term. Although the fact he is stepping aside to allow for someone else would surely mean then the 25th should come into effect.
Yeah, fair point.
It should. Although, at that point, I go back to what I said earlier. Selected, not elected, never won a primary, and yet then become president. That is the literal definition of affirmative action, I believe.
Don't tell them that. They will call you racist.
It's not that anymore. It's called DEI.
Well, yes, but do you notice that they were so happy to push something that they had coined themselves, DEI? But now when everyone is referring to that behavior, it's now racist.
I've noticed that, and I'm just going to say, when people push for diversity, equity, and inclusion, you're pushing for 50-50 representation. You're not pushing to represent based on the population of your nation, which is what, when some people said Hollywood was racist, others have pointed out, actually, if you take all the actors by race and by gender, and all the movies that come out in a certain year, prior to like the last 3 to 4 years, you found that actually the percentage of each individual race and gender was equally represented based on representation of the country.
Like, really?
Thunderfoot did it.
Oh, based on the population. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Thunderfoot worked it out, and he got the representation correct. You do it now, actually, it's inequality.
Oh, of course it is, because
and the ginger sign
what
is real.
what matters to them is not actual equality. It is the observed, like, what could be perceived as equality, right?
Well, this problem is going to continue for years, but that's a separate issue. Okay, so Biden steps down. What is Trump's first reaction?
I don't remember what Trump's first reaction was.
I don't either, but I can't imagine his thought was, wait, I've already won the White House. What am I getting with this as well, then?
I think it had more to do with Kamala.
To be honest, we just before we went live, we mentioned there was a slow response to this, because the moment he put his statement out there and said he would not be seeking a second term, which he should have done that before the debate. He should have done that at the start of this year, giving her plenty of time to then to win a primary. Because if you just, I'm sorry, you have a process. Even the VPs cannot skip that. Like, that's the point. He would have given her enough time to do that, but the arrogance of the party up until that debate was the point. You got undone the moment Trump let you talk. He didn't say anything. Of course, the bullet through the ear thing kind of helped as well. But I'll be honest, he didn't need that because he destroyed you in the debate. But he did that 4 years ago to Biden. So,
true.
Upon being chosen, and we said before we went live, there was a very slow response. And initially, some had run with the idea that the Obamas didn't support Kamala Harris.
Yeah, that changed today.
It did, and I put it on our server. I'm not going to play it on stream because it's too cringy. Where they have a phone call discussion.
Yes, they do.
If I have more
yes, very much a discussion. Yes, indeed.
I'm pretty sure it was completely recorded on either end, and yeah, it was too budget Oprah.
I mean, let's be honest. She did not. Okay, think about how you would respond.
Yeah.
To, like, the most important person giving you a exalted endorsement of you running for the highest office in America.
Yeah.
And your response is, "Oh, thanks. I really appreciate it." I'm like, dear God, could you be any more stone-faced? Could you be any less excited? All of this is turning up fucking roses, and you're... Oh.
But...
Thanks, guys.
See, Kamala Harris is in this rather unique position where, because Biden is president, but he's about to not be, what can be unburdened by what has been, as it were, right?
Sure.
Right? She's thinking ahead. She's trying to forge her own path and her own future for whatever bullshit policy she wants to push forward, which I believe is not great. Although there are videos of her in the past supporting defunding the police, which is somewhat contradictory to her Attorney General time, but all right. She's a weird one because she's never really had decent positions on anything.
True.
So I'm kind of curious what they're going to try and push with Harris, and who's her running mate going to be?
Still up in the air. There's been a lot of different opinions.
It better not be Clinton. It better not be Clinton.
No, if they know they won't touch Clinton because that will actually curse the ticket.
Put Bill on it instead. Get one geriatric out and put another one there instead.
No, poor Bill. He looks dead too.
I like Bill.
He looks dead in the face too. I don't know if you've seen him.
I have. I like Bill Clinton.
Can't say the same. But,
It's just because he got blowy in the Oval Office, man.
Right, you like the principle of the
giggity,
the big pimpin'.
Honestly, just look at him and think that guy got a blow in the Oval Office.
I mean, back then he looked a lot better than he did now.
I mean, he did have a Stan Smith round face, but I'm just thinking if he can get one, anyone can.
I mean, true. You don't think that somebody didn't at this point? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we found out that, like, whatever first lady, like, let's, take the adultery out of it, but, like, the first lady definitely has in the past given their husband a blowy in the Oval Office.
Sat at the Resolute desk and just hidden.
Oh, hell yeah! Come on, that would be awesome.
Heart all over. Okay.
I bet you generations of presidents have done that.
Fam, I don't think anyone needs a mental image of Jill Biden trying to get him up.
No, definitely not him. But you telling me Obama
so
and Michelle, right? Well, you don't think that like Michelle, Obama, or even think about it, fucking Teddy Roosevelt, right?
Oh yeah. By the way, someone mentioned in the chat, Booty Gig. I saw his name over Twitter as a running mate. I saw that on Twitter. So I'm kind of curious if it would be Booty Gig or Gavin Newsom.
Mm-hmm.
Gavin Newsom's a brave one. Certainly if you want to try and get some swing states that are less tolerant of those dreaded homosexuals, as some would like to refer to it.
Okay. It's dreaded. I don't understand.
People are less tolerant of sexuality.
Oh yeah, of course they are.
They're
less tolerant of a lot of shit.
That's the point. How are you gonna? Are you just then gonna focus on the swing states and hope for the best? Because what is the tactic here?
I don't think they have.
That's the point, isn't it?
I think. Well, right now I know that they're trying to basically hide every little bit of her history.
It's not going to work.
No, it's not.
Internet's forever.
But they are trying so hard. Like, the first thing they did was they tried to get rid of the fact that she was considered the border czar. We all know that was the case. We had talked about it here. We had sources on it, all that kind of stuff.
Lack of work on it.
Yeah, well, that's quite.
How many millions of people? Is it 12 million people have entered, or 30 million people, or whatever million have entered your country illegally? Like, bitch, you're not a border czar. Actually, somewhat ironically, much like what you've done in your past. Actually, I can't finish that joke. It's a sex one. It might get me in trouble.
Oh no!
Let too many people in. Hey, Kamala. Hey. Sorry, I had to go with it.
Right, yeah. Of course.
Yeah, sorry. I just wanted to make a joke.
You did.
Anyway,
well
thank you.
Yes, but no. Booty Gig is I don't think is going to be a good enough option for that campaign.
Where's Pete from? What state's he in? Because someone mentioned he can't be from the same state. He's New York.
I don't know where he's from, but I know that California is
Newsom.
It's why Gavin Newsom can't run on the same ticket.
Oh, right. That makes more sense then. Okay. So, I don't know which... I mean, she needs someone that stands out. She can't go with herself because she's just so... Unless the intention with the Dems, because this is so late, is to lose. Because I thought that's what the plan was. Because I don't know how she wins. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
I don't see how she wins. Because she's not been chosen. She can be hammered for it. Don't forget, Trump's been shot. He beat Biden. They're leaving it late. We're at the end of July. You've got August, September. You've got a few months left. What are you going to do? At best, you can go, oh, Trump is this, and, well, that's all you've got. What policy does Harris have that will make her stand up? Don't forget here, during the 4 years she was VP, or will be at the end of it anyway, the policy was Build Back Better, and they failed. Because their own party didn't support it. 2 members in the Senate, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are they going to? What is the policy of Harris? She hasn't presented anything other than I'm a Democrat.
One of the options that they have been exploring has been the Israel Palestine angle.
That'd be interesting.
Well, it's because Kamala differs slightly from what's his face
Biden?
from yes.
How so?
Because so Biden is from an older generation of politician who firmly stands behind Israel, and Kamala is not as much.
She's in California. I'm sorry. No offense to those are Californians, perhaps not in the more blue areas, but I've seen some of the shit those people have been pulling out there. It almost looks anti-Semitic.
How do you mean?
Okay, so I've seen some videos in other states as well of protesters for Palestine. They say that, but actually they're basically for Hamas, who are dressing up as Israeli soldiers and then throwing stuff at other people who are the peasantry. Yeah, like that.
I do believe they did toss some feces yesterday.
Oh, I saw that, but this is where that, and you've seen it with the protesting, where people are showing a complete lack of understanding of the situation and the. Oh, hello, cat. Oh, you want to leave my room, do you? Okay. No, you. Okay, she doesn't mind that. Where people don't understand the difference between. Yeah, she likes to talk between Hamas and Palestine, but also the situation concerning Hamas getting into power in the first place. They don't get this, and I'm curious what Harris thinks she could achieve. But the US's policy has always been to just unilaterally agree with Israel, isn't it? Because we like the UK.
So this is the hard part, right? They want to more carefully navigate it, or at least she wants to more carefully navigate it. But I think that she's going to make some horrible mistakes in doing so by accidentally not overplaying her hand, but playing into a base that she hopes will then turn out to vote for her.
Right.
But I don't necessarily believe that they will.
What is her experience on the international stage? Because I've only ever seen her domestically.
She has in the past, I believe, she went and discussed some of the border issues with people in the, I believe what they call it was the Middle and South American Triangle, is what they.
Right.
Meow.
Yeah. She's a proper attention seeker.
Yes, I have too. I understand.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's about it, though. I don't think she's got too much else besides that.
This is where Trump has the advantage, because he got North and South Korea to sit with each other, cross borders with each other. He had Israel and a number of the Arabic nations agree to a peace deal of sorts, or agree to meet and discuss it before he left office. He made inroads in ways the Democrats immediately went back on.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He has the experience and can achieve it. When it came to Ukraine and Russia, he was asked during the debate what he'd do, and he said, "I would have resolved it before I even take office."
True.
Right?
Yeah.
I can believe, and based on the fact of what he had done before, I can believe it's possible. I don't see what she can do. You say overplay her hand, but we don't even know what's in her hands, because we don't know what she's actually. I don't know if she's even been in the Situation Room once.
I think she has, but I know where you're getting at.
It's just she's green.
Yeah, completely.
She's also completely clueless.
Also true.
We've seen her interviews. Again, that quote, I'm not reading it again. It just doesn't do her any favours. Don't forget, we can all be unburdened by the past, though. Try and say that in another area of the world where that past is very important to them. Like, I don't know, Israel and Palestine.
Yeah, that's one of those things that she may just lose outright because of
naivety.
Unlike our country, I mean, what we're babies compared to the rest of the world, right?
You are.
And
It's not a bad thing, though.
when you're talking about literally the birthplace of civilization being the Middle East and that whole area, being the origination of like places like Babylonia and
Mesopotamia?
Egypt, and yeah, that too.
Yeah.
But I'm just talking about like the early civilizations.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
get
had
you, I get
China
you,
as
yeah.
well, and you had those places. Of course, you're going to look at a place like that and say, well, their history, they're not quite unburdened by what has been because it's been fucking generations.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't think it's going to work out too well in their favor for that.
I have a question, because
Okay.
this is kind of unprecedented territory. You have a president in office who now has made it clear he will not seek a second term. It's not. I don't know if it's happened during your life, our lifetime. Did it happen with any of the previous? Like, Clinton did two, Bush did two, Obama did two.
Lyndon B. Johnson was the only other one that I think
Bush-
stepped down at
yeah.
this point.
Bush Senior did one term. Carter did one term. It hasn't happened during our lifetime. Reagan did two, didn't he? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like during our lifetime, it hasn't happened. So, what does he do with his final 100+ days? Does he try and act as if it's his second term and push through some bills, even though he has no control of the House and barely any control of the Senate? What does Biden do?
Biden is going to try to finish out his term doing what he thinks is like going to help him the best.
Help him the best or help Harris the best?
No, help him the best. He still wants to secure a legacy, and
But he
his
failed.
legacy's true, but his legacy still involves a whole bunch of other shit that he wants to hold on to. So
Like high
stuff
inflation?
like yes, he wants to fix some of the problems that he had claimed that he came into office saying he wanted to fix.
Immigration?
And-
No, that's not what he's built.
Nope, definitely wasn't that.
No.
But basically, he's trying to finish what he started, at least according to the speech that he did.
So, Build Back Better was his main objective, like Trump's wall, but actually Trump made some of his wall. Biden did not do any Build Back Better. Biden attributed some of his issues to COVID, but I'll be honest, that's what pretty much annihilated Trump's campaign because it was in his last year of his first term.
True.
Trump might try and deny that because there are other issues, but I'll be honest, I think COVID did the damage, along with a few other things. Mostly that. During Biden's time, the biggest issues are the mass immigration problems, the pressure it's put on predominantly red states because people are flooding there and they're having to be sent elsewhere, Texas, more notably having to deal with that. You've had inflation going through the roof, and I've seen people's monthly shopping bills quadruple, and they're getting less food as well. And I'm just sat here in my country like, inflation's pretty bad here as well, but not like that. Like, this is predatory areas like of wasting money. I don't like it at all. But what could Biden do to change any of it now? He's
He would have to be able to strong arm some sort of policy. I don't know what.
I'd love to see what deal he offers any Republican in the House when they know he is now only president in name.
They basically they call him a lame duck president on MSNBC.
He is lame duck though.
Oh, I know he is.
He can't put unless what's he gonna do? Executive order everything.
Yes.
That's gonna get vetoed the moment he's out of office.
I agree.
Yeah.
Unless it's Kamala.
I mean, she might anyway, just because she wants to seem strong and take a shit on him. It's always possible.
It is, and we shouldn't necessarily push it aside that he won't do that if he strongly believes that Kamala will take over.
So, a query then: do you think he is capable of pushing any policy through? Pushing any policy through right now?
Not specifically. There's not really an impetus or like a necessity for a specific law at the moment, an actual policy problem that he needs to fix.
Okay.
There are things that he wants to change, but that's always been the case for people in the Democratic Party. They want to make changes, but there's no like immediate problem. Like what they'll need to do, they'll need to work out what's going on in Israel with hostages. They'll need to deal with Ukraine. They'll need to deal with stuff like that. That is going to be the thing that basically holds them back for now.
Yes. Okay. So what the Israel Hamas thing is the big problem. If he could secure some stuff, some broker gets, if that did, there is a chance, yes, he could actually be credited with that. Because yes, it happened in his time, but the man can't complete a sentence. I can't imagine he can achieve any. I want him to. Of course, I want anyone to achieve peace over there if they can. But I don't see him as. I genuinely agree with the lame duck concept because I don't know what he does anymore. He is just holding up the system, which is rather weird.
Mm-hmm.
Especially as we now know he's got 4 or 5 months left in office. 5 months, maybe, yeah. 5 months, 150 days, he hasn't got much time left, so they are is the Democratic Party definitely running with Harris?
We don't know yet.
How do we know?
We will know when they do their convention in August.
Right.
That we will know for sure is like their play.
Okay.
As of right now, they say that that's their play.
Right.
But there are methods in which somebody else could theoretically get in on basically a cheeky way in. It is possible, very highly unlikely. Basically, if you get I think it's 30 superdelegates to sign on to a nomination, you can actually have somebody else go into the pool, but it's highly unlikely at this point.
No offense intended. If you are a Democrat voter, you really do need this to not happen this way because this is the most undemocratic process you could ever support. And I don't care if you are Democrat. I really don't. I just think the way this is going, or it looks from an outsider, the first thing I said when I heard this was it is the most undemocratic process you could possibly endorse when your system relies on primaries to select. In our country, whenever a prime minister is ousted from their seat, the opposition will invariably call for a general election. Thing is, we don't vote for leaders. We vote for the party majority. Now that's important because then you can change your prime minister as long as they don't deviate too much from what got them into that 5-year term in the first place. A mandate exists for the party. Yours does not. Yours is very individual. And therefore, if you replace the ticket with Harris instead of Biden, you are not running the same ticket. Therefore, Harris has not been chosen, has not won the right to represent the party. And that's not right.
Very, very true. Very, very true. We will have to see where they actually want to go with it because, again, we at this point in time, we are expecting some sort of Kamala Harris ticket.
Yeah.
But frankly, we have no fucking clue.
I've seen a few more names come out in support. I did earlier mention Hillary Clinton on the ticket for a laugh. She's come out supporting Harris as well. And I mean, I'm not surprised that Hillary would support it, but I would have thought somebody on the blue side would be like, could we perhaps do this properly? We have time to. It's not the worst idea. I would look at other names, but to be honest, there's no point, is there really?
No, not really.
Do we know any policy that, ignoring the international, any domestic ideas that Harris would have? Because this is the thing. Why is everyone so blindly willing to rally around somebody that for 4 years has goofed more than George Bush did in 8 years?
Because she fills out a desire, a very, very strong desire in the population to have not a straight white man in office. If you want the honest answer,
It's an interesting
and
one because that worked once in 2008 with a guy who'd been senator for 3 years, and that's fine, but that idea doesn't resonate as well as it used to.
True.
Do you
Very
really
true.
want, no, and this is not me saying it's. I don't think anyone wants or likes the idea of any president being regarded as an affirmative action president.
Mm-hmm.
You really don't want that. But if you're choosing Harris to run as your candidate without allowing them to win, you have chosen them without allowing your members to pick them, meaning you've affirmative actioned it. That's there's a few terms for that, and I would never want to say that's how Obama got in, because Obama was a phenomenon. That was weird.
Honestly, I didn't mind Obama's thing. He came in at a great time.
He did.
He had a great message. He performed the theater, the political theater,
Yeah.
to the best that he could. And against who? Fucking
John
Mitt
McCain.
Romney and fucking John McCain.
Well, McCain first, Mitt Romney second.
Right, yeah.
I think that in the context of that, I'm not saying, by the way, that Obama was an affirmative action president. I think that he was the right. It was like Tony Blair in our country in 1997. Tony Blair used media then to perfection, and that's what Obama did. 9 years later, it was very well done. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I will admit, the very first thing I said in 2008 when it happened was, "Did Obama just get in because he's black?" That was the very first thing I said. I'm not going to deny it, because his policies were a bit vague. And I thought, okay, I don't know enough about American politics to know if this is... And then I remember seeing the Dear Colleague letter, and I thought, okay, I'm not okay with this, but all right. He had great charisma, genuinely great charisma. And I thought, oh, actually, this guy's interesting. But when things bleed through later on, he can be blamed for a few things.
Sure, the whole Obamacare being unpopular, but also radically changing how the system ended up working for the rest of the United States, as well as making things a lot less affordable by trying to make it affordable. It didn't play out exactly the way they wanted to. They ended up having to rush and shoehorn it in at the end of Obama's term. It wasn't pretty. It didn't work out the way they wanted it to.
No, Medicaid is a tricky one, because that brought up the argument of, is Medicare medical care a birthright or not? And you cannot base the American system on that, on any other country that has it, like we have our National Health Service. It's not the same, because you can't implement a national healthcare service in your country, because you're republic. Each individual state would have to do it on its own, and it's too big, even some state levels. Don't forget, here you could fit most European nations into one of your states. It's ridiculous.
True. Very true.
I'm just intrigued because I don't know what Harris's positions are. It's been nearly a week, and I still know
no
nothing.
one really does. Right now, everyone's just really hype about the fact that she's not Biden.
They're hype because she's female, and they think that gives her...
That too.
I'll be honest, if she runs against Trump and Trump wins again, he can safely say he beat 2 women without being considered a woman beater.
True. Fair.
But I need policy. And the annoying thing is, the only policy we know exists is the stuff that Biden failed to get through.
Or if you wanted to go real far back, you could also go to what she did as a senator, at which point then you're going to find a lot of unpopular.
Ooh, I didn't know she was a senator.
Yeah, she was on Kavanaugh's hearing when he was getting appointed, when he was nominated for Supreme Court. She was on the committee that was grilling him at the time.
Oh, and just a girl. I kind of get it, the dividing country thing, especially if you're trying to promote the idea of unity. And don't forget, if Obama, well, when he won his first election, that's why the hype exists and the charisma was insane. He cannot be denied. He can be justifiably blamed, if you want to, for the rise of Trump and why he even ran in the first place. Because, well, that can be laid at the feet of Obama. It can't be undone.
One of the biggest problems, I think, is you have to rationalize the two different things that they really, really don't want to.
What's that?
And one of them is, we're excited about Harris. Okay, why are you excited about Harris? Because of all the change she's going to bring. Okay, what change is she going to bring? We don't know. Okay, so why are you excited about Harris? Well, it's because she's a woman, right? Well, no, it's because she's a woman of color, isn't she?
It's that
well,
thing of
no,
it's that thing of crossing those. It's those tips.
Isn't it though?
It is, yeah. It's that. No offense intended. Your country will get a
It's
female
not
president.
offensive. It's just be a good candidate.
This is the problem, though, and no offense to anyone who does back Harris here, but she's only there because she's a female. And not
Well, I mean that was.
That's definitive now because there's not one policy presented yet.
Well, not only that, but that was literally what Obama said. I'm sorry, not Obama. Biden had said when he was selecting a VP, he's like, I will select a woman VP, and I will appoint the first black Supreme Court judge.
Did he do
Or
that?
Yes. Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Good for him.
But everyone else is like, okay.
Weird flex, but all right.
And
she didn't do very well in the debates with Pence, if memory serves. He was too nice to be honest, back then.
yeah, he was really kind about it. But the thing is that the people they want to have their cake and eat it too. Either she is a good candidate because she has a good record to run on and she has a lot of good things to say, or it's because you want to have the first woman president. I don't care if you want to have the first woman president.
I think we'll have one soon, to be honest.
I mean, sure, why not? But be honest about it. It's fine. I don't care. But if your goal is this person is going to bring about change for the betterment of this country, and I ask you what change, and they don't really have a good reason or good answer.
Right.
I'm sorry, but the reason why you want her in office is not because of her policies.
Well, we don't know any yet, and I hope next week it has some answers because
I want some.
Either she's being selected by the party or she's being chosen by the party. And
I think she was chosen by the party.
Well, it's the thing. We need to know if it's definitive or not, and then we need to know who her running mate is. We need to know what they stand for, and they've got to act quickly. They don't have time to campaign this late. And not have an idea of where they're going, especially against someone like Trump, who's campaigning all the time. He already some contentious videos that have been doing well, not contentious. There's been one video that have been doing its rounds of him saying about medical care for gender affirming care for children, I believe. But I believe the language he used could be interpreted as all. But I don't believe that was what he had meant. That's a subject for. I wanted to wait until more information came out on that particular statement. And we've run out of time on that anyway. Just out of curiosity, this early on, it's a bit too early to tell. Before Biden stepped down, I firmly believed that Trump was going to beat him in November. Is it November? Yeah. Right?
Right.
Trump against Harris, who wins?
Trump against Harris, who wins? Depends who you ask, because the polls are currently saying that Harris is amazingly shot up in all this stuff. And
okay.
Yes, through complete policy. But the betting odds, the predicted markets, have not changed.
What do they currently say then?
That Trump is winning 64 over to 30 something cents.
Okay. Very well. Okay. Are we here next week, Trups?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm only away next, not this.
Right, the following.
Yeah, I'm away on the 10th and 11th, which is Saturday and Sunday, so I can do the 9th if we can. But you're on vacation, I believe.
Yes.
Okay, so we're back on the 2nd of August. This will be up on Spotify and Rumble on tomorrow, because I'm at the computer tomorrow, working on video stuff. Thank you all very much for joining us, guys. I really appreciate it. If you did enjoy, please smash the like. There are contentious subject matters, I know, but we do like to dip our toes in. And this is a weird one because, no, we don't really know what's going on. Yeah. Anyway, say goodnight, Trups.
Good night, Trups.
Good night, Trups.